Alright, we are going to work more on word problems this week. We're going to solve real-world and mathematical addition and subtraction problems involving whole numbers up to 2 digits. Your math teacher assigns 23 math problems on page 37 and 21 problems on page 38. How many total math problems did she assign? So to answer this problem, you need to look for keywords. You're asked for the total. Remember, we talked about this last week. Total meant what? Addition. So that tells you that you need to add 21 or 23 plus 21, which equals 44. So sometimes they have the page number, page 38 and page 37. They put those in there to trick you. So really make sure you're looking at the right numbers when you're adding them. Okay, whole numbers, those are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those are your regular counting numbers when they say whole numbers. So let's look at some examples. When you're solving word problems, you need to read the entire problem first. Then you need to go back and look for key words that tell you if the problem is addition or subtraction. So some addition words, we talked about these last week. Total, more, altogether, in all, sum. Those are clues to tell you you're going to have to add. Some subtraction words include how many left, still have, how many more, longer, shorter, heavier, difference. When you read the problem, look for words like the ones above and underline them in the problem. Think about what the question is asking you and determine if the problem is addition or subtraction. Get your paper and pencil ready. We're going to do some practice now. There were 54 people waiting in line for recess. Then 13 more got in line. How many total people were in line? So do we need to add or subtract? And what words clue you in to what we need to do? Which are your key words that tell you if it's addition or subtraction? Well, what do we want to solve? The question is, how many total people were in line? So how do we know if we need to add or subtract? Remember, total is our key word that tells us we need to add. So they're asking for the total people in line. We need to add that. So how would you write your problem out? What would it look like? Write it down on your piece of paper, pause the video, and solve it. Did you write down 54 plus 13 or 13 plus 54? When we add, it doesn't matter which one goes on top. And did you get the answer of 67? There were a total of 67 people in line. Is that what you got? If you didn't get 67, show your work to your mom or dad and see if they can figure out what went wrong. Maybe you just miscalculated somewhere. So show them your work if you didn't get it correct and let them help you and show you what you need to fix. Next one. For his birthday party, Jim brought 20 cupcakes to school. If 17 of them were eaten, how many cupcakes did Jim have left? Well, what are we trying to solve here? What's the question asking us? It's asking us, how many cupcakes did Jim have left? How do you know if you were to add or subtract? Well, you need to subtract because the problem is asking you how many left. And that is always our clue that it's a subtraction problem. Now, when you're subtracting, remember it does make a difference which number you put on top. Okay? So you put the bigger number on top and the smaller number beneath it. So go ahead and write your subtraction problem out and solve it. Pause the video and see if you got it correct. Were there 3 cupcakes left? You can't take 7 from 0, so we have to borrow from the 2. So we cross it out, and that becomes a 1. Now the 0 becomes a 10, because we put 1 there. We took 1. So 10 minus 7 is 3, and 1 minus 1 is 0. So there were 3 cupcakes left out of the after the party. If you got this wrong, show it to your adult and see if they can figure out where you messed up. Maybe you just made a small miscalculation. Show it to them and let them help you if you got it wrong. Have a link in your agenda to these practice pages. You can print them if you want to, or you can just look at them and write down the answers. But listen to this, what I want you to do. I want you to, if you're printing it out, underline, highlight, or circle the words that tell you, your key words that tell you if you need to add or subtract. Okay? If you are just looking at the computer and then doing them on a piece of paper, write the problem out and write down the words that clued you in. So you would write down, let's look at our examples up here. So if this were on our paper and we had 20 minus 7, and it has our word problem up here, we would write down how many left. Okay? If you print this out, you can just underline it. Okay? So go through each of these, try to do them on your own before you get help from your adult. Go through each one here. If you do print them out, here's your space to work them out on. Make sure that you work them out. I want to see your work. Don't just put an answer down. Okay? Because if you get it wrong and you don't show your work, we don't know where you went wrong at. So make sure that you show your work to do these. Okay? And then have mom text me if you're having any problems.